In this lecture, we will talk about object-oriented programming. OOP is a programming paradigm based on the concept of objects which can contain data and code, data in the form of fields, often known as attributes or properties, and code in the form of procedures, often known as methods. In other programming language, we say function. In Java, we say methods. We are going to do a new project and call it My First Object. Make sure you got the JDK Corretto 17th version. It will be perfect. Do a right click on the top of SRC folder and new package. Call it model. And inside it, we will do a new Java class called patient. The first thing that is going to happen when you are going to code a class to do some objects, to instantiate some objects, is you are going to wonder yourself, what is a patient? You got to try to describe what is a patient. A patient has a first name, has a last name, a birthday, a gender, an address, a phone number, and so on. So we will call those variables attributes, and we will have to choose a type for those attributes. The first thing we are going to do is to write private, because private means those variables will be reachable only in this class, but we will see it in the next lecture. For now, just write private and you'll be good to go. We are using an integer for the idea. The purpose of this variable, this attribute, usually is to store primary keys in SQL database. Anyway, we will see it in the next lecture. A first name is a string for sure. The last name, same. A birthday is a local date. Local date is an object provided by the JDK. The gender is a string for sure. Address also. And the phone is a trap. Phone, usually beginners want to type this, want to use the int type, which is a mistake, because are you going to do some mathematics with a phone? The answer is no, of course. So this is a string. So to summarize, attributes are the variables that helps me to describe what is a patient, what is my object, what is going to be the instance of my object. Okay? To call an instance, to instantiate an object of type patient from the class patient, we will have to use what we will call the constructor. It is a special method. We will use the public keyword because we want to reach it from everywhere in the code. And this is the only method that I know with a capitalized letter at the first letter. This way we know that we are facing a constructor, all right? So by convention, your constructor got to have exactly the same name as the class you are going to instantiate. In other words, if my class is called patient, my constructor should be called patient also, exactly the same with a P capitalized. When I'm going to use this constructor, which is a simple method with no parameters and with nothing inside the pair of curly braces, I'm going to instantiate an object of type patient, but all my attributes will be null. There will be nothing inside it. I can do what we will call constructor overload. Overload means we can do another constructor, but with another signature. This one got, as you can see, some parameters. The purpose of those parameters are to set the attributes of my class, of my objects. In this case, when I'm calling this constructor, I ain't got any values inside my attributes, but when I'm going to use this constructor, I want to provide at the same time I'm doing the instantiation of the object, the values of my attributes. And IntelliJ is wisely showing us the connection between those two. When I'm providing this parameter, it will be used to initialize this parameter. And by the way, we got to talk about this keyword. This means in this class simply dot first name. This way the compiler know I'm talking about this one. And one more time, IntelliJ wisely is showing us that the first name here is this one. So this dot first name means this class, in this class dot first name. It is a path equal first name, and you know now the first name which is going to be used is the one I got in my parameter. In other words, when I'm doing an instance of an object of type patient with this constructor, all my attributes will be set. I did the third one. This is okay, with only two attributes. And the last part is really important. Getters and setters. Getters and setters are the methods we are going to use that are public to reach all our attributes, values. Let me check. Let me see you. Let me watch. This one is, the name of this one is getID. It is public because we want to be able to reach it from everywhere. It will return an integer, but as you notice, the I is capitalized, so it is an object. This method is called getID. There is nothing inside the parentheses, so no parameters. This is obvious because when I want to get what's inside my ID, I'm not going to provide anything. I just want something. I'm not giving anything. And inside the pair of curly braces, I'm returning ID. But ID in this case means this one. So when I want to get what's inside this variable, this attribute, I'm going to use this getter. Same thing for the setter. But as you can see, the setter is not returning anything. Obviously, when I want to set an ID, I'm not going to wait for something in return. So I'm using void keyword. I'm calling it setID. By the way, by convention, we will call them get and set plus the name of the attribute we want to get or set. So if I want to do a getter with first name, I will call it get first name, and the setter will call it set first name. Anyway. So set ID, I'm going to write a parameter of type, a variable of type integer, an object, so the wrapper, and ID will be used to set this .id. So this .id means this one will be initialized with, will be rewritten, I would say. I will touch the value, change the value with this one, ID. Okay? So that's pretty much it for this, this first video about instantiation of objects. I highly recommend you to try to code with your hands what you're seeing right now on your screen. because it will make you understand more what's going on. Okay, it is really important to tell yourself, okay, I got to do all my getters and setters. What's going on with the getter? The purpose of a getter of getID is to return the ID. So I need to write a type of return, and I got to use the keyword return. And the setter is to set, so I don't need anything in return. So I'm using void, etc. Do it with your hands, but you have to know in IntelliJ, this is really comfortable because you can do a right click just after your attributes, and you can do right click, generate, and you can have constructor. IntelliJ will ask you which attributes you want to set. If you don't want anyone to be set, you just click select none. If you want, it already exists indeed because it is here. And if you want to get everything, you dot control A on your keyboard, control A, and you will do OK, and you will have this one. Or you could also choose the one you want. Okay, anyway. After this, you can generate your getters and setter also. Generate. Getter and setter, I'm going to have an error, I think, yeah, because I already got all my getters and setters, but if you do this, let me check. Let me show you. I'm removing this one, generate, and I go, okay. I'm having the only one IntelliJ saying I didn't do it. So I can generate it this way. This is really comfortable, but for the beginning, I highly recommend you to do it on your own, to write it, to code with your hands. I will catch you in the next lecture.